Shalom, shalom. This is the brother Danya Allah coming back again with another lesson, giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Racha HaKodash. Double honor to the elders and apostles, a great millstone that rule well, all right, and that taught us this truth, that are our spiritual fathers. And shalom and salutations to the hopeful elect brothers and sisters that believe in this word and that fear in the Most High. And this is going to be an in transit, but I want to read a precept before I pull off from the plantation, right? Because each year there's more steps and phases that are taken, that inch more and more towards prophecy, or towards the will or the desire, of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai to be fulfilled, and through the Spirit, our elder apostle Tahar, coins each year through the Spirit of what's to be expected to happen in that year, and sure enough, those different things begin to happen, So we're in the we're coming into March. All right, so-called March, the third month of the so-called New Year, right? We're also coming up into the time of the Passover. The Passover will be starting. All right, the Passover, the Feast of Unleavened Breads, will be starting. What is it? March 5th, right? At evening, right? So when the sun is down, that's gonna start on Sunday night. When you actually examine the Passover, like it says, is on the 14th day, of the month. So that's there's usually there is a new moon. The new moon fall Salakia. That's Satan. Salakia. A full moon. The Passover falls on a full moon. All right, the full moon is halfway through the month. All right, on the 14th day. So that'll be Sunday at evening. Okay, and it's gonna continue for 7 days of not eating unleavened bread. Right, but and usually around the time of the Passover, you have people that leave off from the truth, but then also you have major things in prophecy that start to come to pass, before or right on or right after the Passover, so it's interesting to see what's going to be the next phase in us coming towards what the Charagma. So let me read this. Ecclesiasticus chapter 39 and verse 1. It says, "But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient, and be occupied in prophecies. He will keep the sayings of the renowned men, and where subtle parables are, he will be there also. He will seek out the secrets of grave sentences, and be conversant in dark parables." Right? So being occupied in prophecy. So if you are, and when you come into the truth, you start to meditate upon the law and the different laws, all right, that you can keep and cannot keep, right? But then you start to keep some of those laws, and the Lord starts to open you up into more knowledge, all right? You study more, and then you start to become conversant, right? Or you start to understand different prophecies, all right, that you learn from your teachers, all right? Our teachers here at Great Millstone, being the elders and the apostles, all right, and the elder brothers on down, okay? But you start to learn the different prophecies, right? So not only are you occupied in the laws, statutes, commandments of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, right? The culture which the Lord has given unto us, all right? The traditions that he's given unto us by way of the law, right? Which is wisdom, by the way. But also the prophecies, okay? And the main prophecy is the charagma, all right? The C-hip, right? And there's been different phases that has taken place to basically to bring about that to bring about that charagma on a worldly scale, right? In the oikumene sense, as Elder Apostle Sahar says, right? Right, so as we can see, starting from 2020, right, and even before that, you know, you had the digital setup taking place. First, you went from cash, right? You had cash and coins and, you know, certain tangible and physical money that people would use. You know, some people would, you know, use cash as a tactic to basically prevent them from spending too much money. You know, because it's tangible, it's in your hand, you want to conserve more money, right? It's easier and more convenient to swipe or scan or tap or slide in your C-hip inside of your debit or credit card, right? So they moved on from cash to the debit and the credit card, right? At first you had the swipe, then they moved on from that, and then you had the C-hip. Then everybody, do you have this? And you know, for a while it's been, well, do you have the C-hip? Use the C-hip. They'll make the swipe not work on purpose on the POS system, all right, which you at the cash register, right? Just so you can use your C-hip. Then it went from the C-hip to, now you can also use, you can tap it now. Went from that, now you can you went from the tap to you can use your digital wallet. You can tap your phone, use your phone, right? So this is you know, the different steps that this devil has taken for this charagma to be set in place. You know, because if you're gonna lead, you know, if you know, the scriptures talk about he shall deliver you from the snare of the fowler, right? This devil is the fowler, man. Fowler is a hunter, one that hunts birds, right? He sets traps. He sets bird traps, and he lures the bird into the trap, right? But it's so subtle. The trap is blended in to the point of which the bird cannot see it, and birds got really good eyesight, right? They can't see the trap, so when the bird, you know, basically lands on the trap, you know, or hops into the trap, you know, going for a piece of food, a piece of bread or whatever, then the trap activates, right? And this is a big trap for a lot of people, man. And he's doing it ever so gradually. Was gradual meaning in steps, in stages, right? And there's many things he's going to use. He's going to use convenience, you know, like the scripture says, he causes both all, small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive the charagma in their right hand or in their forehead. All right, that no man might buy or sell save he had the charagma. All right, the MAR to the K, which is the C-hip, the micro C-hip, right? But, you know, things have been done so gradually that people are not noticing it. Some people are noticing it, you know. Actually, I'll say a lot of people are noticing it because the prophets are putting that to the forefront, you know. But there's going to be a lot of people that's going to take it than people that are not going to take it, man. You know? right? So that's a major prophecy that we are occupied in, that we are looking out for. Okay, that through the different events that's happening, who knows what other big event may happen around this time of year that that the Lord may use or put the spirit on this devil to do. All right, to push it to the next stage. All right, the next stage. Now, I actually got the word for stage here. Now this is and usually when somebody talks about stage, the next part of development means growth. Okay, it's a sense of period of development or time in life, right? First recorded in the 14th century, probably Middle English. It says degree. Degree also goes into what? Degree also goes into what do you call it? A grade. What is it? Grados in the Latin, right? Gradualism, a step, right? Also a grade. A grade is also a step. All right. A degree is also like another unit of measurement. It says degree or step on a ladder. It says ladder of virtue. It says wheel, right? Degree goes into a, mathematical sense or scientific, it goes into a measurement of a circle, right? It says here, meaning a step in sequence, a stage of a journey, right? So a step in sequence. So, each year we're on to the next group of sequences. Okay, the next group of stages, steps, right? So, hey, we're gonna see what's gonna be the next stage. Okay, because there has to be stages in between, creating the charagma and then getting people to take it. This devil has to go in steps and stages, because if he tries to just force it on people, there's going to be a big resistance. And this devil wants it to be, he wants to enforce this with as little resistance as possible. Okay? And even with the things that's coming up, when the C-19 was implemented, okay, there was that was a stage to see, well, how many people will be willing to believe in the lie that would tell them, all right, and to take this foreign substance into their body, all right, and can we get them to take it multiple times, right? So they took the statistics, figured out how many people were taking it, how many people were not taking it, right? So now they'll have a better gauge for, okay, well, if we do it this way, then we'll get this many people to be able to take the charagma, man, to see him, right? So they basically have a estimation of how many people is really going to take it, and how much force are we going to have to come down to force people to take it, or how many people are we going to have to cut off? How many people's heads we're going to have to chop off that are going to be against or retaliate against us, or that are not going to be according to our agenda. So this is how this devil does things. He does a test run. That was a test run, man. Right? So, hey, let's, we're going to see what's going to be the next stage, man. And there's many different things, that will, really everything will be, the different judgments of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, different prophecies are all interconnected to each other. You got famine that's coming up, famine of the word. You got different calamities that are going to be coming, and these are all going to be a basis, different chaos that's coming. These are all going to be more of a, they're going to create the temptation for people to see him. you know, the different calamities that might be going on, the different Q zones, we'll call it that, where there's different plagues and illnesses that are running rampant and zombies running around. You know, you see that through these different so-called apocalyptic movies, right? Different diseases that turn people into man-eating zombies, vampires, and all types of stuff, right? That stuff is real. You know, this devil, discovered, so-called discovered, you know, a 50,000-year-old, 50,000-year-old zombie virus in an iceberg, so they say, right? When of course this devil just whipped it up in the lab, man. You know, and different plagues that are starting to resurface, and you know, they might strike me, you know, whatever. They might strike me because I probably said some misinformation, but whatever. To hell with these devils, man. Right? But yeah, so there's that'll be basis for coercing people to take it also. Or if you take this, you'll be immune from these different plagues. Right? If you take this, we'll let you into the safe haven city. Meanwhile, other cities that are running rampant with disease and chaos, right? Those are places that people don't want to be. Those are places that that lack resource, lack food, lack resources, lack protection. They might have a safe haven zone where if you take this seat, now you can be a part of this society we have now, right? So all these different prophecies are, you know, interconnected with each other, you know, and also they are all on a schedule. You know, certain prophecies cannot happen before the other, right? You cannot go to the next step until this step is completed. You know, and that's just how Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai is. He's meticulous in he's meticulous in the different things that he do. Right? Very detailed and, you know, very subtle. What do you think what do you think Esau gets his details and his subtlety from? The Most High gave him that subtlety, right? You know, that's why it refers to you know, that spirit that's in Esau, all right, the father of the Edomites is the same spirit that was in the serpent, right? The serpent was more subtle than any creature or than any beast of the field that the Lord have made. So he was very, very, very clever, because the Most High made him clever, right? But who's more clever than he? Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, right? Like the scripture says, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness. Right? Now let's get this, because I said what? Everything is on a schedule. You know, this devil has an agenda, but little does he know that his agenda is a small piece of the Lord's agenda. The Lord has an agenda. Okay? And part of what you're doing, what you think that you're going to fulfill your belly and do all this, all that's on the Lord's agenda, right? But what this devil's agenda is not the end all be all, all right? At the end of the day, the Lord's agenda is the end all be all, okay? Which is prophecy. Now let's get this. Let me see here. Let's I got it queued up right here. Let's get this. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 3. It says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time. Right? Now before it says what? It says it says, and the Lord answered me and said, hold on one second. Going into this tunnel right here. Right? It says, and the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. All right, so that the visions or the prophecies, all right, they were written down upon tables, which that's what today the scriptures, okay, the scriptures, all right, the Bible, right? Which is a collection of knowledge, okay? A collection of knowledge. That's why in Spanish, the word for library is biblioteca, right? Which is a collection of books, a collection of knowledge. That's what they, call a library in Spanish, a biblioteca. Okay. So it says here, that he may run that readeth it, right? So we're running, into the safe haven of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, all right, but also running and warning our people of the visions that are, or the prophecies that are about to come to pass, that we can see unfolding, because the Lord has us to be watchmen. We're watching. It says, behold, Salakia. It says, for the vision is yet for, Salakia. It says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. So the visions, all right, the prophecies of Yahweh Shemel Shah for an appointed time, right? And we know that the destruction of America, the nuclear missiles, cannot come until the CHIP is made mandatory and people have taken it. All right. Then this society will be destroyed and the Lord will return to collect his elect, okay? And to wreak havoc on this place before the missiles touch down. And then, America will be destroyed. Leading up to the CHIP, and when it's made mandatory, and even after people are taking it, right? There are still prophecies of calamity and evils and pestilence that are to come upon people. The martyrs of the Lord, right? The spiritual power, the standard lifted up against this devil. There's many prophecies that are also going to take place, leading up, afterward, leading up to the CHIP, during the mandatory implementation of the CHIP. Okay, and what I mean by leading up, I mean leading up to worldwide mandatory implementation of it, because the CHIP is already here. People have already taken it. They're already using it to buy and sell, right? So now let's get here. Right, because we read he will be conversant, and he'll learn the secrets of the scriptures, basically, in the dark sayings, and the mysterious parables, right? Right, what's the dark sayings? Right, the parables, the symbolic and metaphorical language that's being spoken of in the scriptures, what they actually mean, right? Also, that goes into what? The different visions that prophets had, where one thing was symbolic for another thing, right? And a lot of different visions are broken down. The different angels that will come to the prophets, the things that the prophets would see. The prophets, the angel will ask them, "What seest thou?" Or the Lord will ask them, "What seest thou? What do you see?" And then he'll say, "What I see." And then it will be explained to that prophet what he was seeing. Same thing with the parables that Yahushai brought forth. He put forth the parable in the midst of many people, and then privately he will tell his disciples what that actually meant. So right, learning the different secrets of the dark sayings, right? All right, and let's read this. Revelation chapter 1, In verse 3, it says, blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy. Right? So you'll be blessed if you read and you hear the words of this prophecy. Right? But also receive the understanding thereof of the prophecies. Why? Because now you're in a privileged position of knowing what's coming upon the earth. And now you have, the Most High has given you opportunity to repent and to establish, you know, a close relationship with him, that you might, you know, be saved during the coming a calamity and the coming destruction, you know. Right? It says, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand. Right? So keeping the different, you know, laws, statutes, commandments of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, all right, the different wisdom, all right, of the scriptures, okay, you know, keeping these different things, all right, that it may be unto their salvation. So, you know, that's all I have for this in transit. You know, Lord will, I'll do another video today going into some other topics, you know, on the Sabbath. But with that, I'm going to say, call Allah Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai B'Shem Dash, and Shalom.